Hello and welcome to another week of Full Tuck, the Wingspan podcast with me, Aidan.
And me, Adam, and we are back recording quite early this week, aren't we?
Yeah, we're recording earlier than normal. Yeah. We need to get it in because you're off on a very exciting trip, aren't you?
I am, yeah. I'm going to South Africa and Botswana flying tomorrow. So we're recording... Well, we release on Thursdays, don't we? Normally we'll record on Tuesday or Wednesday, but we're recording this one on Sunday. So sorry in advance that we're not going to be able to look through most of your comments because they haven't happened yet. And also, we really haven't had much time to play Wingspan in the time that we last recorded either, have we? So we have no... Yeah,
it's not been a lot of game. I've been, obviously, as usual, playing some online games, which are always good fun.
Yeah, how are they going?
Still beating Paul, as usual.
Oh, mate. Come on. That's such an early low blow, that is. Poor bloke isn't able to even defend himself.
No, we love you, Paul.
So, yeah. So apologies, guys, that we're doing this a little bit earlier, just because, I'm going away into the savannah, into the bush. Yeah. You could call it maybe research for the next expansion. What do you say about that? I think that's probably
what it is, isn't it?
See a few ostriches.
You're off to see if you can find a few birds that might
suit the old next expansion.
Try and get some on-site research into what the next type of power might be.
Now, that's not insider knowledge either for me. That's not. That's just me purely speculating that it's going to be Africa next.
Do you think?
Yeah.
Rather than South America?
What else could it be? And it could also be Antarctica.
Although there's just not enough birds.
I feel like Antarctica will be a bonus.
Yeah, I think they're going to have to do something different or interesting.
Do you think?
Right? Yeah. I mean, from what I understand, there aren't enough variety of species of bird in Antarctica to warrant a traditional expansion in the same way that Oceania and Asia and Europe.
And I suppose the birds would all live in the wetlands, wouldn't they?
Yeah, well...
wouldn't they?
They're certainly not going to live in the forest, are they?
Well, they're not going to live in the fire, are they? It's literally Antarctica.
That's what I mean. They're going to have to do something
unless
different.
They combine it with, like, I don't know, Iceland and Greenland, and you say some of these birds are actually... They live in forestlands.
Possibly.
In places such as that.
I think it was something quite... different or creative or something to do with an additional part of the ball. I don't know.
Maybe just so like an expansion add-on to the ball.
Yeah, almost like in the way we've got the forest, the grasslands and the wetlands, we could have, the Icelands as like an additional. I don't know.
So it'd be like a modular add-on to the game.
Yeah, that's what I'm wondering.
I like that.
In the same way that you have like in Terraforming Mars, you have the Venus board as like a separate add-on board.
Yeah.
It could be something along those lines. I'm fully speculating. This is off the top of my head.
Yeah, I was going to say, have you been thinking that for a while?
It's something that occurred to me before. I've definitely thought about this before. Maybe from reading stuff online, I don't know.
Would you like to be a play tester?
I'd love to be a play
tester.
Yeah.
Would you?
Would you not? Oh.
I think I would. I don't know how good at it I'd be. I don't know how good I am at having the vision of recognising whether this card could be an issue going forward.
Yeah.
Maybe is this card going to be too powerful, or how is this card going to change the game? I don't know if I have that in me.
I mean, again, and please let us know on, if you have play tested and you have a bit more insight into what the process is. But my guess is that you'd get some guidance about what they want feedback on specifically, rather than just saying, what do you think?
How do you think it works as well? Do you think people go and just play the games as like a focus group, or do you get the cards, read through the cards, and say this will be the issues, or this is what I would think would work with it? Yeah,
I've no idea. Maybe we should ask Flan. He's done some play testing, hasn't he?
Yeah, so, maybe we should.
Maybe get him back on. Give us some insight.
Recurring guest on the show. yeah. I was thinking about the Africa expansion, and I was thinking about. Presumably, most birds in an Africa expansion would live in grasslands. Would there be a preponderance? I suppose actually Africa is so varied, isn't it, as a continent?
I mean, if you think it's massive continent, spans a lot of latitude, so you're going to get a variety of different climates and environments. There's definitely, I mean, if you're going down to the south coast of South Africa, you'll definitely get a lot of wetlands.
Yeah, birds. True. The reason I was saying that is, do you know what the distribution of bird habitats are now we have the fan-made expansions?
Oh, interesting.
Yeah.
Go on.
Do you know? Take a guess.
As in what the splits are of how many birds would live.
What birds can live where?
I don't know. I guess a theme I've noticed is that particularly with Asia and maybe with the fan expansions as well, there's quite a lot of birds that live in all three.
Yep, but they would then count in all three of the things.
Fine. So my guess is there are probably more birds that live in the forest and wetlands than the grasslands.
Interesting. Yeah, that's correct.
Is
so,
it? Okay,
yeah. How did you get that?
I'm basing that off the bonus cards that are birds that only live in the forest, birds that only live in the grasslands, and birds that only live in the wetlands. Because to achieve the highest score of 8, you need 5 forest birds or 5 wetlands birds with that bonus cards, but you only need 4 grasslands birds to get the top bonus cards.
That is excellent reasoning. That's fantastic reasoning. So I suppose the thing is, so prior to the fan-made expansions, it was reasonably equal. Okay, so 200 out of the 446 birds, 222 in the trees, 216 in the grasslands, 215 in the wetlands. Okay. It's all about the same, isn't it? And then but once you add in the fan-made expansions, the numbers kind of swell in the trees more than anything else. So there's now 309 in the trees and 287 in both the grasslands and the wetlands. So, it's quite a significant forest up valuing.
That's interesting, isn't it? Because I mean, we've definitely talked about before.
It reflects our impression of it, doesn't it? We think that the expansions upvalue the trees. Definitely. And I suppose one of it is just there's more birds in the trees, isn't there?
Yeah. And we think that they're generally quite powerful birds, aren't they? The fan-made ones. So I guess that definitely fits with that theory.
And so I suppose going back to that bonus card point you said, actually, if it's the bonus cards is birds that can only live in this habitat.
Yeah.
Really, the grasslands one was probably more powerful than the other two, because if you're saying you only need 4 birds in that to get the higher score, compared to the other 2, which you need 5 birds to get the higher score, prior to the fan-made expansions coming out, when there were the same number of birds in every habitat, why do you think it was that those bonus cards were scored differently?
Well, remember those bonus cards are birds that only live in those habitats.
Yes. So
actually the numbers that we're basing that on are not the numbers of birds that only live in those habitats. They're birds that could live in that habitat. So my guess is if you have a look at the splits of numbers of birds who only live in the grasslands or forest or wetlands, the numbers would be slightly different. I mean, it gives you a percentage, doesn't it, on the bonus cards?
Yeah.
I can't remember what they are off the top of my head, but my assumption is that there are fewer birds that just live in the grasslands. But I think that's a much better bonus card than the other ones, because it gives you a bit more flexibility.
Because you only need 4.
Yeah. You only need 4, and it also means that you're allowed a space in your grasslands for a bird that could live in other habitats and still achieve the top score in it. Whereas if you've got that bonus card and you've got a bird that can live in multiple habitats that you want to play in the grasslands or the wetlands, you're slightly hamstrung.
Yeah, that's a really good point.
Whereas you're not so much.
Do you prefer any of those 3 then? Out of the 3 different bonus cards, do you think you score one of them?
Oh, the grasslands one.
You think so?
100%.
I know that I score the trees one more than any of the other ones.
Really?
Yeah. Okay. And I don't know if that's because I have a preponderance to trees, tree chains. Maybe I find that the birds that can only live in the trees are stronger than the birds that can only live in grasslands. Birds that can only live in grasslands rarely have brown powers.
They're often bonus card birds, aren't they? There's a lot of bonus card birds that only live in the grass, particularly some of the traditional bonus card birds, pick up 2 and discard 1. But then also some of the great Indian bustard is a perfect example of a very powerful grasslands bird that only lives in the grasslands and has a very good bonus card power, as we've talked about before. But great prairie chicken, painted bunting, there's some others as well that I'm not remembering off the top of my head. But yeah, there's. And I think that's why I like it, because I tend to build a chain in either the wetlands or the forest.
Yeah.
Tend to, and that leaves your grasslands free to play some of those high-scoring bonus card birds that live exclusively there.
That's very interesting, and probably foreshadowing our discussion today and next week, actually. So now might be a really good time to say, next week we are going to do a special episode, which is going to be purely speculation about the next expansion.
Yeah.
And the reason we're doing that is because we believe there's going to be an announcement in December. Don't we?
That's what Stonemaier have said, isn't it? That they're aiming for the expansion is going to be released at the end of January, and that they are.
I thought it was Q1.
Is it Q1? Maybe I'm misremembering. So we'll double check on the newsletter. But yeah, they're going to send out some speculation in December about what it might be.
So we'll get ahead of the speculation, get ahead of the curve, I reckon.
We'll speculate first.
So I think we are going to basically spend the entire episode just talking about what we would like to see in the game. And we would also like to hear what you would like to see in the game or what you would be expecting in the game. Okay, so if there's anything you want to be seeing in the next expansion, be that the continent, be that the type of bird, be that a new type of power, and what does that power do, please email in or comment, and we will discuss them all next week, because I think it's a exciting time to be a Wingspan fan,
Absolutely,
isn't it?
It is, yeah.
With so much new content and so much new stuff on the way, that we should be spending as much time as we can talking about it. So that's going to be next week, so email in for that. And then this week we are going to do our opening hand.
Yep. As usual. And then we're going to dive into a question that we've had previously from Paul on our Spotify, on one of the comments, which was relating to left field birds. So birds that maybe aren't considered the traditional uber powerful birds of the game. So not your, Atlantic puffins or Maine ducks, but birds that we would always if we found an opening hand, it would be like a no-brainer.
So what I want from this is I want birds that we haven't mentioned ever on this show.
Yeah.
And birds that you would say I'd pretty much always keep them, or 9 times out of 10. Oh, sorry, in most scenarios I would keep them, apart from perhaps an opening hand scenario, which we might come on to, because one of mine is in the opening hand. Which I'm not going to keep. So it's completely... that's pretty embarrassing. Should we get onto this opening hand then?
Yeah, so just before we do, so talking about the next expansion, I found the newsletter.
Oh, go on.
And so what they've said is that we're on track for this is the November update, by the way, in the world of Wingspan, not from Stonemaier.
Which we made it into.
We did, yeah.
We made it into the world of Wingspan update. So thank you, Stonemaier, for
very kind.
For popping us in there. We were not expecting that.
No, it was brilliant.
That blew our minds when we saw that.
So what they've said is they're on track for a late January 2026 launch.
Oh, wow.
And a reveal on the continent on December the 31st in a 2026 preview live cast.
Oh, my word.
So that's New Year's Eve, so really getting you set up for the
New Year's Eve live cast.
That's obviously incredibly exciting.
Okay.
But we'll get our thinking caps on and think what...
You let us know what you'd like as well.
Yeah, please do, definitely.
That's interesting. That is, so we're going to get our speculation a whole 2 weeks out beforehand.
I know.
Because we've got some very special Christmas bonus episodes coming for you guys on Christmas Day and New Year's Day, which we are going to pre-record. So please listen out for those, or keep an eye out for those, because we won't be doing our usual speculation on those episodes. We've got some very special content for you.
Yeah.
With that all said,
opening hand
sounds like a good idea.
So to give you guys a quick rundown of the opening hand we had for this week. So this is the episode 16 opening hand, which you can find on our Spotify or wherever you get your podcasts, or also on our social media pages. We had the house crow, which can live anywhere, eats a single food of any variety. 3 points, stick nest, 3 egg capacity, teal round end power. You may cache 1 food from your supply on each bird in this row. The common tern, which lives in the wetlands, eats a fish, 3 food, pebble nest, 2 egg capacity. Predator, when activated power, if another player has a fish in their personal supply, gain a fish from the general supply. The stubble quail, which lives in the grasslands, eats a witchetty grub or a wheat, 4 bird points, pebble nest, 6 egg capacity. When played power, discard up to 6 food and lay an egg on this bird for each discarded food. The golden eagle, which lives in the wetlands or the grasslands, eats 3 rats, 8 bird points, stick nest, single egg capacity. Brown predator, when activated power, look at a bird from the deck. If it's less than 100 centimetres, tuck it behind this bird. If not, discard it. And then the black-crowned night heron, which is a wetlands bird, eats a witchetty grub, a fish and a rat. 9 bird points, stick nest, 2 egg capacity. Brown, when activated power, discard an egg from any of your other birds to gain 1 food from the supply.
Anything from the supply, nice. Your 2 bonus cards are Anatomist, so that is birds with body parts in their names, and 2 to 3 birds scores you 3 points, and 4 or more birds gets you 6 points. And the second is Viticulturalist, which is birds that eat cherries, And again, 2 to 3 birds is 3 points, but 4 or more birds, interestingly, here gets you 7 points.
Yeah.
We're just going there and the reason I said interesting is that for both of these bonus cards, 22% of the cards score.
It's interesting,
it's
isn't it?
another one
wonder
that
where the
we'll
logic
just say
comes in
wonder where
there.
the logic is there. I wonder where that's come from.
And then we've got in the tray, we've got the pine siskin, which is a bird that lives in the forest, eats 2 wheats, 3 bird points, bowl nest, 2 egg capacity, flocking when activated power, tuck a bird from your hand behind this bird if you do gain a wheat from the supply. The red wattlebird, which lives in the forest, eats 2 nectars, 3 bird points, bowl nest, 2 egg capacity. When played power, gain a nectar from the supply for each bird with a wingspan less than 49 centimetres in your forest. The violet cuckoo, which lives in the forest, eats a witchetty grub and a cherry. A pink once between turns power when another player takes the lays eggs action, lay an egg on another bird with wingspan less than 30 centimetres. You may go 2 over its egg limit while using this power.
And then your end of round goals to make up for that truly dreadful opening hand. We start with round 1, no goal, so it's going to be a high scorer. Maybe not for us with this hand. Round 2, beaks pointing left. Round 3, bowl nest birds with eggs. And round 4, witchetty grubs in food cost of your birds. And it's a 4-player game, and we are going 4th.
Of course we are.
Of course we're going 4th. But I mean, the tray's not that exciting. I mean, I would... Oh, sorry, the violet cuckoos. Sorry, what am I talking about? It's a complete no-brainer, a 4-player.
Yeah,
but it is next to probably the worst bird in the game. What would you say about that? The red wattle bird.
Worst bird in the game is harsh.
Yes, yeah.
Do you think?
Without a shadow of a doubt. Can't say I've ever played it.
No, I don't think I've ever played it.
Only lives in the trees, costs 2 nectars, which is already crazy.
Yeah.
3 points. When played, gain 1 nectar from the supply for each bird with a wingspan less than 49 centimetres in your trees. That bird is 49 centimetres. Okay, so it doesn't qualify.
Yeah.
So you're always, in that one, either not going to have enough birds in the trees...
Yeah.
Because you're going to be playing at 2nd or 3rd bird, and so the most you could get would be break even, or you're playing it in the 4th or 5th column when you're going to have to spend 2 eggs to do it to get maybe +1 nectar.
Yeah, and a 3-point bird.
Yeah.
It's not, no, I agree.
Bizarre bird.
It's an interesting power. It's a kind of mechanic we've not really seen much before.
Yeah,
in other birds.
These noisy, aggressive birds will drive off smaller birds from a good nectar source, is the quote. So I suppose that's the law, isn't it?
Yeah, you're driving off smaller birds.
And they love the nectar, but it means that it doesn't translate very well into wingspan. That
bit of a mean-spirited bird to have in my aviary, you know? Not really the kind of bird I want to be having there.
True, yeah. Sorry, you were looking rather pointedly at me there. Are you saying it's a bird that I would normally have in my aviary?
Not at all. I mean, saying that...
You are a big black-headed gull proponent. That is a mean bird.
That's interesting that you've said that. We'll come on to that bit later on.
Okay, sorry. What do you want to do?
So, yeah, I mean, I think I agree with your sentiment earlier. This is a tough opening hand.
Yeah.
I think that I'm struggling to see synergy. Obviously, we've got a no-goal round 1, so looking at the end of round goals is maybe slightly less important. But the 2nd, 3rd, and 4th end of round goals have no kind of relation to each other at all.
Yeah.
4 of your 5 opening hand birds have beaks that point right, not left. There's only 1 that points left.
Don't most birds in the game point right though?
Do they?
I think there is.
Okay.
Oh, someone's going to have to call me out on that one because I'm not sure I'm going to be able to find that live. But I have a slight feeling that beaks pointing right is more common than beaks pointing left.
Okay, that's interesting. So, I mean, if that's the case, then fair enough. The other challenge is of your 2 bonus cards. You've got no birds that eat cherries in your opening hand. You've only got 1 that has a body part in its name.
Yeah. So which one's that?
The black crowned night heron, which is a 9-point bird and a cool power,
but struggle to make it work with a lack of eggs to begin.
Exactly. So we have actually had a comment on Spotify from Will who said that they are keeping the black crowned night heron in brackets. Love that guy.
Yeah.
The golden eagle and the house
Will
crow.
Talking about the black crowned night heron.
Yeah.
Or was that you talking about Will?
It's both. It applies to both.
Yeah.
It applies to both.
Brackets, love that guy.
And yeah, aim to get one of them down in each habitat by the end of round 1, and then keep the cherry bonus card, which I do get. I think what I would do is I would be keeping the cherry bonus card as well, almost for the reasons that you say. You've got 2 cards there where you've got 22% of birds that are going to qualify for it. One of them you get 7 points for the top and one of them you get 6. You've not got a hand that particularly leans into one or the other, so usually the way I'd lean is to lean to the cherry one. Also, I don't know, for me it feels like an easier one to achieve. I don't know why that is.
Definitely. I feel it is much easier to achieve.
Yeah.
Which it might just be the distribution of birds that eat cherries you're more likely to play than the distribution of birds that have a body part in their name.
Yeah, I guess maybe it is. But I'm just
But interestingly,
here.
none of
maybe.
Gone.
I'm just thinking maybe the reason it's 7 points for the top instead of 6 with the anatomist, despite them being the same percentage of birds, is that you're going to get
no wetlands birds.
Very few wetlands birds that eat cherries, and therefore whereas you're going to get body parts everywhere.
You're restricted to 2 habitats.
Maybe that's why. Maybe
potentially.
It's quite cool. Sorry, I'm waffling a lot here.
You're deflecting from what you're going to do.
No, so what I'm going to do is I'm going to keep the golden eagle and the house crow.
Ooh.
I'm going to play the house crow in the forest.
So the house crow is a round end power. You may cache 1 food from your supply on each bird in this row.
Yeah, so I think with a forest chain, it is really powerful if you're getting loads of extra food, and you can end up with quite a high score just from the house crow. That being said, you do need to build that chain, otherwise it's not great, but it's very cheap.
Yes,
and you can, almost the main reason I'm playing it is to get up to the 2 food gain in the forest, and then gain some food to be able to have enough food to play the golden eagle in the wetlands.
Yeah,
and then I'm going digging.
Yeah,
basically, you've got to assume the violet cuckoo's not going to be there in the tray by the time it gets you. In
or
the
you're playing with not very accomplished wingspan players then, if it's still there.
But even if it is there, you've got no birds in your hand that are less than 30 centimetres apart from the stubble quail, which is a hard bird to get down in round 1.
You'd still take it though, the cuckoo, wouldn't you, if it was still there?
Oh yeah, 100%.
Yeah.
And then you'd wait for one that works.
And you immediately just get the first bird with a small wingspan.
But so that's what I do. But yeah, not the easiest.
No, I would go for the house crow and the common tern.
Okay.
Yeah. I was umming and ahhing about the common tern and the golden eagle, but I just think so. House crow, exactly the same reason as you, goes in the trees. The common tern is a new bird from what fan-made expansion is that one?
Is that America? I think that's the new American one. Yeah.
Common tern only lives in the wetlands. It only costs a fish. It's 3 points. When activated, if another player has a fish in their personal supply, gain a fish from the general supply. I have a feeling that in a 4-player game, there'll be a reasonable amount of fish.
Yeah, that's true, and it does go well with the house crow.
And it's just a nice 1-pointer. Only costs 1 food, so you can get it out nice and quickly, and then just exactly the same as you, Aidan, go digging. But I suppose what I have is a few more spare foods to reset the tray. Because neither of us are getting good card draw, are we, to be honest?
Well, no. I mean, there's no way of doing it.
No, there isn't. I'd also keep the cherry bonus card for the exact same reasons that you say. I find the body parts one really challenging, especially because half the time I can't tell what is and isn't a body part.
Yeah.
Okay?
Yeah.
Like
definitely.
vent. I would never look at a bird and see the word vent or wattle. Given I'm not a birder.
Yeah.
To think that was a body part, and so I'm sure I miss lots of them. And I just spend a sort of a strange amount of time, maybe a reductive amount of time, just trying to figure it out when I'm not thinking about my game. So that's what I would do. So we've already heard what Will said, haven't we?
Yeah, we have got Paul commenting on Spotify as well, who is keeping the golden eagle and the night heron and is essentially praying that he'll then draw a decent forest bird.
So what was he doing? Say that again, Aidan.
So he's keeping the golden eagle and the night heron.
So he's keeping the 2 most expensive birds.
Yeah, I guess
without food draw.
The challenge there... So harsh.
I'm tired, sorry.
I think the challenge there is it's very hard to get the golden eagle down in round 1 because you're going to have to do a 2-for-1 food spend, which is almost really hard to do without any food draw.
And then Lisa has emailed in. She's picking the anatomist bonus card. She's keeping the house crow, playing that in the forest like we are. She's also keeping the golden eagle and the black-crowned night heron. Reason for the black-crowned night heron is because it qualifies for the bonus card, but not exactly a bird which you'd rush to get out early. Just keeping it because it qualifies, which I think
and
is
it's a 9-pointer. You can't
exactly. And I suppose the benefit you've got of this golden eagle playing that across a no-goal game in the first round where you've got 3 extra goes, that golden eagle is going to tuck so many birds
You'd hope so,
by
wouldn't
the
you?
end of it. You
You'd
know,
hope so.
Whereas the turn that I've got probably won't really get you that many fish, to be honest.
Yeah, it's just a tricky one. I think because it's a new one, just not had enough experience of playing it to kind of really get a feel for how often you're actually going to have someone with fish in their supply.
Agreed.
So yeah, probably jury's still out on that bird power.
Jury is still out.
For us anyway. But yeah, write in, let us know if you've had an experience of playing that bird and you've had particular luck with it or not luck with it, then let us know and we'll have a chat about it.
Yeah, great. Should we have a quick break and then come back?
Lovely.
Right, see you in a minute. Welcome back to Full Tuck, the Wingspan podcast, and we are going to get on and give some appreciation to some birds that don't make it on the show. So It's our top left field birds.
Yeah.
So I've probably got 3 or 4 that I definitely want to be mentioning that I would be playing, and I'm going to open the batting with the masked lapwing.
Yeah, that is an excellent choice.
Yeah,
has
that been mentioned on the show before?
Not. Do you know? I feel like it hasn't.
So masked lapwing lives in the. This is off the top of my head, so I'm trying to do an Aidan here.
Here we go.
But you're going to call me out. So it lives in the grasslands or the wetlands. It's 1 point. It eats a witchetty grub or a wheat, and it is a white when played power. When played, reset the bird feeder and gain 1 of every single food that is showing in the bird feeder.
Oh, very good.
Was that spot on?
Yeah, spot on. Do you know what kind of nest it is?
Pebbles.
Yeah, it is.
107 centimetres.
Oh, okay. I'll be quite impressed. I wouldn't have known that one. But,
really?
Yeah.
I
agree.
The reason I say it's up there is 80 centimetres. The reason I say it's up there is because it just gets you going on food draw in round 1,
It's
and
excellent.
it means that you don't need to pick up food, and then you can potentially, if that's the only good bird in your hand, you play that in the wetlands. You've got buckets of food, and then you can just go digging for a little while.
Yeah.
So that's one that I would keep in any early game scenario.
100%.
I keep it in probably every opening hand. I can't imagine an opening hand that I wouldn't keep it in.
Yeah.
Unless there's a really obvious tree chain going for me.
But I think even then it just gets you going. It means that you can, in round 1, not take the gain food action anymore, because you'll have enough food after playing it to play everything you need in round 1.
And most of the time, what with the new expansion now, you'll get at least 4 food, won't you? So not a new, Oceania, I mean.
Yeah.
You always get 4
including a
food.
nectar,
Because if there's the
realistically.
splitchty dice on show, there's your witchetty grub and the wheat.
Absolutely.
And then you only need 2 more to get up to 4, don't you? So that's top of my left field birds.
I think you're right. With the Oceania dice, with there being more split faces, it becomes really strong. Mass Lapwing, that's a really good choice, a really good shout. It's not one I thought of. I'm going to come back out with you with one that you've already mentioned today, which is the black-headed gull.
Oh.
So this is a wetlands bird.
Cruel bird.
This is you're right, actually. It's probably the only bird I can think of in the game that has a power that when an opponent activates it, it can actually annoy you. It can actually properly. Probably the only example of a bird in the game that does that. So it's a wetlands bird that essentially has a brown power, which is steal a food from another player's supply, and then they gain something from the bird feeder. So depending on the state of the bird feeder, you can really derail someone's game with that. The reason I like it is it's an out of habitat resource. So you're gaining you're gaining a food which in a lot of cases is going to be a nectar.
Especially in the higher player number games, aren't
Yeah.
they? You're going to be getting a nectar from someone, aren't you?
Exactly.
Yeah.
Exactly.
That bird is responsible for the only time I have ever been angry whilst playing Wingspan. I can only once have I been angry. Multiple times I've been disappointed in myself or been like, oh, you've not had a good game, you made some mistakes. But I was outwardly angry about 3 years ago when you, me, and both of our partners started one of the campaigns.
Right.
And Ellie had the black-headed gull in her wetlands and just kept stealing nectar from me. It felt like from me. And the excuse was, well, you're the only one with nectar.
Yeah.
But it still felt unfair, okay? Because I was just... it was almost as if I was doing her work for her. May as well just given her the nectar straight away.
I know. And it makes you change your game, doesn't it? When someone else has one, has the black-headed gull down, I'm a bit more conscious of when are they going to activate their wetlands chain next, and making sure I don't have nectar in my supply.
So maybe I didn't play it very well. So maybe that's what you're saying, is that you managed to time it so that you didn't have nectar in
I
your
think
supply.
I probably just got lucky.
Yeah.
I'm not sure if I timed it.
Maybe that's. Do you think that's why we never carried on that campaign?
Yeah.
I was so bitter about that first game.
But one of those birds that when you've got it, you like it, don't you?
Yeah.
And I think if we're saying that when an opponent's got a bird, you feel put out by that, then probably shows it's quite a good bird.
Yeah. Enters the left field Birdle Hall of Fame.
I think so.
Next entry from me is the stubble quail.
Yeah. Do you know what? When you said there was one in the opening hand, I was like, I knew it would be the stubble quail.
But I feel bad because we've ignored it in the opening hand, but it's not an opening hand bird, is it? So stubble quail only lives in the grasslands. 4 points, which is a lot of points for only one food. It costs either a witch grub or a wheat. And it's a pebble nest, and it's a white when play power. Discard up to 6 food, lay 1 egg on this bird for each discarded food. And so I will keep this 80% of the time if it's mid to late game, because I know I will often have food floating around. And it's a means of getting eggs without picking up eggs. Plus it is 4 points for only 1 food. So I keep it all the time. It's got a 6 egg capacity. And so if you're throwing away 3 foods, maybe 4 foods, and 2 of them are nectar, you're bumping up your nectar in your grasslands, and you're laying 3 or 4 eggs on a bird. It's underrated in general.
I think that maybe the reason for that is there are definitely times where it's not easy to make it work. As in, if you want to really make the most of its power, you want to be using 4, 5 foods to play, including its food cost plus, really. I mean, if you want to maximise its power, you need to spend 7 foods. That is a lot of food. And obviously, most birds are going to be maximum 3 foods, and you can get... And bear in mind, if you do spend all 7 foods to maximise its power, that's a 10-point bird, effectively. You can get 9-point birds for 3 food.
Interesting.
But... I do also take your point that those are points that are usable in the form of
versatile
eggs.
points.
Exactly.
Yeah.
It's not just straight up bird points. It's points in the form of eggs, which can be used to play other birds. So I think I agree with you. I think it's probably best in the kind of middle game, where actually instead of it just being used purely as a point gainer, it's used as a way to get eggs to facilitate your later game.
End of 3rd round,
Lovely,
start of 4th round.
Yeah.
It tends to be when I would use it, and try and really mean that you win the nectar for that habitat as well.
Yeah. So I'm going to say one.
Happy? Does that enter?
Oh yeah, no, I think that's it.
We're happy.
I think that's it.
All of them are in. Yeah.
Oh yeah. I mean, it is a great one. It's a great one.
Okay.
I'm going to say one which I don't know how left field it is. Maybe it's a bit too mainstream.
It's a bit
but I'll
normie.
see what you think.
Okay.
The black red star or lesser white throat, which is a teal round end power, which is lay an egg on every bird in a habitat with no eggs on it at the moment. What do you think?
Don't think it's been mentioned on the pod.
It's definitely been in opening hands,
and we've kept it.
And we've definitely kept it and talked about it in that context. But for me, if you get that in an opening hand or in round 1, you are sorted. That is your eggs sorted. You have to be a little bit clever about it, because you have to make sure that you are using eggs in correct sequence and making sure you're using enough in each round to make the most of it. But I just find you realistically, if that's played in round 1, you're probably getting, say, 2 eggs in round 1, maybe 3 or 4 in round 2. 4 or 5 in round 3, 5 in round 4. That's a huge number of eggs.
If you play your eggs right.
If you play your eggs right. And that's what it comes down to. But it means essentially you never, ever have to get eggs from any other mechanism.
I mean, and it's reflected in the cost of the bird. One of them costs you 3 food and is worth 0 points, isn't it? That's the red star. And then what's the other one worth?
And then the lesser white throat is 2 food, worth 0 again. But the difference is that the red star has a higher egg capacity and has a star nest.
God, that's a valuable star nest as well, isn't it?
Yeah, particularly as you're going to be laying eggs on it. So no, I think it's great.
Excellent bird.
Yeah. Is it left field? That's my challenge. That's what I feel, because I think people would go, depends what we're defining as left field.
That's a great bird.
Exactly. I'm not sure there's many people who wouldn't play it.
Yeah.
Although maybe I'm wrong. Maybe there are people who are... I suppose if you've got a grasslands engine, it becomes effectively useless. So, and let us know if you think it's left field enough.
I've got a couple more, but they're both quite good birds, I would say. And so The one that I will not mention in much is the Griffin Vulture, because we've mentioned it on the show before. Teal round end power, cash rats on this bird for every skull and crossbones power that an opponent has. We've already said Or you. We've already said that one can get you 20 cash by the end of the game.
Well, you'd have to do really well to get 20.
Okay, I don't think that's left field. It's quite straight. The other one,
I don't know though. So there's that and the Carrion Crow.
yeah.
And obviously the difference is the Griffin Vulture is free to play. It has no food cost, whereas the Carrion Crow costs 2 food, just a slightly higher points value attached to it. I find it, what I like about it is that it's, you control your own fate in a way. You can play a predator strong
master of
game,
your own destiny,
and you're not just relying on other players having these things to drive that bird's power. But on the off chance that other players are having a predator strong game, it can be a really good thing to do.
Yeah. Okay.
And if you notice an opponent play a couple of predator powers early in round 1,
Do you think that makes it in then?
I'd say so.
Well, fair enough.
I reckon.
Okay.
Yeah,
What about you then? Go on. Round us off with you.
This one is a bit more left field.
That's what we want to hear. Come on.
Red-eyed Vireo.
That is play another bird in your trees with a 1 egg discount?
No, it's
No.
just play another bird.
You just want the normal. You want to pay full whack.
So, but it has 3 points associated with it. So obviously there's a whole series of birds that are play another bird in this habitat, and with the newer expansions they've had twists on them. So pay an egg discount or pay a food discount, or obviously with the fan-made expansions there are some really clever ones like cash the food cost for that bird on this bird, stuff like that. But I personally don't think we've got enough experience with the fan-made expansions to really understand which.
So our left field birds are currently the pre-fan expansion.
We're not talking fan-made expansions here, and so I think if we remove them from the picture, this is a star nest. It has colour in its name. It has a body part in its name. It has 3 egg capacity, so it has a decent amount of eggs on it as well. And effectively, it's free 3 points. So, like, you're already going to play a forest bird, and you're just playing it with that forest bird.
Yeah.
So it's just like a bonus 3 points. Obviously,
and it only costs a witch to grub or a cherry.
Exactly. So it's only 1 food cost. There are obviously other birds that have the same power, such as the great egret or the mountain bluebird, which have 7 and 4 points respectively. So are more points, but most importantly, they are more food cost. They do not have a star nest.
Yeah, with those ones as well, you can spend time just trying to get food for them in the first place, can't you?
Exactly.
So you don't have to the red-eyed vireo. That is an excellent addition.
What do you think?
Excellent addition. Probably the best.
Probably
the best left field bird there is. Because that's never going to get mentioned on the pod, is it?
No, it probably isn't.
I mean, it has got mentioned. I think it gets mentioned in one of our
before.
upcoming Christmas episodes.
Oh, does it?
I think, potentially. But I'm very, very happy with that. We've Paul, as when he first asked us this question, Paul gave us some suggestions, which I think we should definitely mention a few of them.
Yeah.
I'd start with Black-Shouldered Kite.
Yeah, that's a cool one.
So
I did like that one.
Black-Shouldered Kite only lives in the grasslands. That is I think it's a predator power.
It is,
yeah. And it's a when activated power, reset the bird feeder and gain 1 rat if there is one. You may give it to another player. If you do, lay up to 3 eggs on this bird.
That's cool.
And the bird has got a 3 egg capacity limit. So effectively, you are taking the gamble that if you get a rat, it's going to sort you out for egg draw for a couple of rounds. I'd agree with him there.
Yeah, I do like it. There's the obvious drawback, isn't there? If once you've used it once, it probably is going to be a while before you want to use it again. That being said, you don't have to give the rat away. So you could use its power and then just keep the rat if you gain one.
I've never actually thought of that.
So, obviously the powerful thing to do is to lay the 3 eggs, but if you say only had 1 egg left in its capacity.
Doesn't fit as part of a grasslands chain, but I think he's an excellent left field bird that has not come up on the pod before.
Yeah. So interestingly, playing through the app with Paul, I notice he does play this quite a lot.
Does he?
Yeah.
Oh, interesting.
So I he's
money where your mouth is.
Yeah,
that's fair enough. Paul's mentioned a few others. One that I would like to raise: Grandula.
Yeah, this is an interesting one. I can't actually remember what this bird's power is.
That is how left field the Grandula is. So the Grandula is from the Asia expansion. Only lives in the grasslands. It costs a witch to grub and a cherry. It's worth 5 points. It's a bowl nest. And it's a flocking brown when activated power. If you laid an egg on this bird this turn, tuck 1 from the deck behind this bird.
Yeah, it's cool. It is cool.
2 egg capacity.
I can see why he's saying it.
Yeah.
I can see that actually, if you get this obviously it's going to be in a grasslands chain because it only lives in the grasslands and is essentially a free tuck from the deck it doesn't have to come from your hand, you don't have to chuck anything else away to get it. It's a free point with essentially limitless capacity to do that because you can just keep tucking. It's not like, lay another egg or something. But yeah, it's going to get full of eggs, isn't it? And then once it gets full of eggs...
If you spend the egg, though, quickly enough, I think it works quite well.
Yeah. It's cool. Yeah. In the right context, it could be really strong, couldn't it?
Interestingly,
really
so we had an email from Lisa, actually, who guarding left field birds as well.
Oh, right? Yeah.
And on there, Griffin Vulture, so we've already discussed that. Cooper's Hawk.
Yeah, of course.
Well, that's just a wind-up, isn't it? That is.
Fair play, Lisa.
But also the Green Heron.
That's nice. That's a good shout.
Green heron only lives in the wetlands. It's a brown one activated power. Is it exchange one food for another type of food?
Yeah, it's like, I think the word they use is trade. But yeah, it's a cool power. I've definitely used it to really good effect before.
You have.
It's a good way of managing nectar. Because obviously, early in a round, then you can exchange any food that you might happen to have for a nectar. And that's really where it becomes strong, because you're giving yourself much more food flexibility, and obviously nectar contributes to points.
Yeah.
And then if you're using it as the last go in a round, you can get rid of a nectar for another food, and that nectar then goes in your spent nectar.
I was just about to say that, would it?
We've looked it up before, yeah.
I think I probably would put it there.
It does.
Yeah.
So that means you've got, you're managing your nectar really well. It's going to contribute to a strong nectar game for you, and you're doing so in the wetlands while you're getting card draw.
Yeah.
So I agree, Lisa. I would definitely put that in the left field hall of fame.
And again, is worth 4 points and only costs 1 food.
Yeah.
So that's a witch scrub or a fish.
It's fab.
Again, so it's an excellent shout. So we're going to say straight into the left field birds hall of fame.
Think so.
Yeah.
Think so.
Look at that Full Tuck podcast representing all birds in the game.
Yeah, of course.
Not just the bonus card birds.
Yeah. Yeah.
Fine.
And write in. Do let us know. Comment on the Spotify. Comment wherever you get your podcasts. Email in fulltuckpodcast@gmail.com. Let us know what your left field birds are. I bet there are loads out there that people would back
definitely.
Up. And I'm also absolutely certain there's going to be some of the new fan-made cards that make it onto this list.
Yeah, I'd say so.
Because there are some strong powers in there.
And then join us next week for our new expansion speculation episode. So we want to hear what you think it's going to be, or what you would like to see in the new expansion. So are there any particular birds you'd like to get in? I don't know, have you got a favourite bird from your part of the world? Are there any particular powers you think the game's missing? There's got to be a new power coming, doesn't there?
Surely.
There's got to be a new power. So what do you think the new power should be? If I can just give you a teaser, Paul has Paul suggested a power actually on Spotify.
Paul, by the way.
Just the other day, actually, off the cuff, he said, suggestion for a new power, orange power, 0 points, 0 egg capacity, no nest type. Food cost is 5 nectars, and it's a when played power. Swap your board with your opponent.
Yeah. Yeah. I'm not sure Stonemaier would be on board with that, but I'd love to see it.
You've got to put it to them. You have to ask them the question. Swap your board with your opponent. So,
yeah, it's cool.
Okay, so if you've got suggestions like Paul's, or suggestions that you do actually want to see in the show, please email in. We are fulltuckpodcast@gmail.com. Thank you for listening. Like and subscribe, and we will see you in a week's time.
Yeah, we'll obviously have an opening hand review as well, so please have a look at that.
True.
And let us know what your thoughts are on that one.
All right, bye-bye.
Okay, see you soon.